Welcome to the series Study Time. Today I will give you the explanation of the chapter from Snapshots, English Class 11, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse by William Saroyan. The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse is a story about two Armenian tribal boys who belong to a tribe that despite its poverty is known for its honesty. The boys do take a horse which does not belong to them for their love of their horses, but are conscience-stricken and hence return it to its rightful owner. The narrator, Aram, remembers an incident which took place one summer when he was 9 years old. He was asleep in his room at 4 in the morning when he heard a tap on the window. He jumped out of bed and looked out of the window. There was his cousin Mourad sitting on a beautiful white horse. Mourad invited the narrator for a ride. Those were the days when the world looked wonderful and life was like an enjoyable and unexplained dream. Aram also knew that Mourad enjoyed every minute of his life, but this was even beyond his expectations. Since his earliest memories, he had had a strong desire to ride. But their tribe, Garoghlanian, was so poor that none of them understood where they'd even get money for food. Most importantly, they had been famous for their honesty for about 11th century, even when, as believed, they were the wealthiest family in the world. They were known to be proud, honest, and an ethical clan and were incapable of taking advantage of anyone, leave alone stealing. Aram could not believe that the horse had anything to do with his cousin Mourad, or for that matter with any of the other members of their family. Mourad could not have bought the horse and so must have stolen it. Hence, he felt both delighted and frightened. He asked Mourad where he had stolen the horse from. Mourad did not deny that he had stolen it, but asked Aram to jump off the window for a ride. In his childlike innocence and simplicity, Aram made himself believe that stealing a horse for a ride was not the same thing as stealing money. Even if it was, it would not be as serious as stealing if one was so passionately fond of horses the way Mourad and he were. It could be called stealing only if they sold the horse. Aram changed his clothes, jumped out of the window, leaped onto the horse behind Mourad. Then they lived at the edge of the town, on the Walnut Avenue. Behind their house were vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches, and the country road. They rode to the Olive Avenue. They were happy with themselves. The fresh air seemed new and lovely to breathe. They were so happy that Mourad began to sing. Aram felt that there was a crazy element in the tribe. Each family had a passionate streak in them, and in their family, Mourad was the one who was supposed to carry the wild trait. Before Mourad, it was Uncle Khosrow who was supposed to be crazy. He was so ill-tempered and impatient that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring. Once his son, Arak, went running to him at the barber's shop where his father was having his moustache trimmed to tell him their house was on fire. Khosrow sat up in the chair and roared. The barber repeated what the boy had said and Khosrow roared at him too, to stop as it was no harm. Mourad was considered the natural descendant of this man. Although Mourad's father Zorab was a practical man. In their tribe, traits were not necessarily inherited from parents. The tribe from the beginning had been impulsive. Aram and Mourad let the horse run for as long as it felt like running. Then Mourad wanted to ride alone. Mourad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Vizier, run!" The horse stood on its hind legs and then ran. Here's an image. It was one of the loveliest sights. After 5 minutes of running across a field of dry grass to the irrigation ditch, they returned. It was then Aram's turn to ride. The horse, instead of running to the irrigation ditch, ran down the road to the vineyard of different Halebi, where it began to leap over vines. It leapt over 7 vines and then Aram fell off. The horse continued running. Mourad went after the horse and it took him half an hour to find the horse and bring him back. By then it was broad daylight and people were awake. However, Mourad did not seem worried about hiding the horse. Aram soon realized that Mourad had been taking these early morning rides for some time and had got him for a ride today as he knew how much Aram wanted to ride. Mourad told Aram that if people found out about the horse, he was supposed to say that they started riding that morning. Mourad walked the horse to the barn of a deserted vineyard that once belonged to a farmer named Fetwazian. It was difficult to make the horse behave well, but Mourad said that he had an understanding with the horse and got him under control. Aram went home and ate a filling breakfast. In the afternoon, his uncle Khosrow came to their house for coffee and cigarettes. He sat in the parlor talking when another visitor, a farmer, arrived. His name was John Byro. He was sad and mentioned that his white horse had been stolen a month ago and was still untraced. Uncle Khosrow became very annoyed and shouted that when they had all lost their homeland, crying over a horse was pointless. John Byro protested that his carriage was no good without a horse and that he had walked for 10 miles to go there. But Uncle Khosrow rode yet again, saying that he had left. The farmer said that there was a pain in his left leg, and Uncle Khosrow shouted that he should not pay attention to it. He did not seem to care that the horse had cost John Byro $60 as he said that he did not value money. When Uncle Khosrow went away, Aram's mother tried to explain to John Byro that Uncle Khosrow had a gentle heart but was simply homesick. After the farmer went away, Aram ran to Mourad's house. Mourad was sitting under a peach tree and nursing the third wing of a young robin which could not fly. Aram told him of John Byro's visit. He requested Mourad not to give the horse back until he had learned to ride. Mourad said that it would take him a year. To learn riding. They could certainly not keep the horse for a year as that would amount to steal, and a member of the Garoghlanian family could never steal. He would not keep the horse for more than 6 months and then it must go back to its true owner. For 2 weeks, early every morning, Mourad and the narrator took the horse out of the barn of the deserted vineyard where they had hidden it and rode it. Aram was thrown off every time, but he did not lose hope and hoped to ride horse the way Mourad rode it. One morning, on their way to Fetwazian's barn, they met the farmer John Byro. Mourad wished him as John Byro observed the horse keenly. He asked the boys the name of the horse. Mourad said that in Armenian its name was My Heart. John Byro wanted to look into the horse's mouth as it looked so much like the one he had that was stolen. After looking into the mouth of the horse, The farmer said that he could not have sworn that it was his horse if he didn't know their family was famed for their honesty. He was not a mistrustful man, so he could not believe his heart rather than his eyes, saying which he walked away. The next day, early morning, they took the horse to John Byro's vineyard and put it in the barn. The dogs followed them around without making a sound. Mourad put his arms around the horse, pressed his nose into the horse's nose, patted it, and then came away. That afternoon, John Byro went to Aram's house in his carriage and showed his mother the horse that had been stolen and had returned. He said that he was confused as the horse was stronger and even better tempered. Uncle Khusro heard this, became very irritated and shouted at him to be quiet as his horse had been returned. That's all for the chapter. For more updates, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click the bell button for the pre-notifications. Goodbye.